Next on Worcester News Tonight, another frigid day in the city in what has already been an unusual winter. We'll hear more about the records which have been broken. Plus, the local police department warning residents to be on the lookout for a wild animal appearing in the town. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Less than a week after Worcester saw two unseasonably warm days, temperatures plummeted yet again. Friday, the city set a record for the warmest January 12th, but thermometers would drop nearly 40 degrees, adding to what has been a historic start to 2018. Our Cam Jandro joins us now live with the details. Cam?
Yeah, Anna, we're not even a month into 2018. We've already seen a major snowstorm. Temperatures dip well below zero, and also temperatures get as high as 59 degrees. And even though the year is just starting, Worcester's already seen some record weather.
It's the halfway point of January, and in Worcester, it's already been a month for the record books.
It was the coldest on record at Worcester Airport, was where the observations are taken, and those records go back to 1892. The average temperature was less than 10 degrees for that first week of January, from January 1st through January 7th.
The area saw temperatures dip to a low in the single digits Sunday, just hours after Worcester saw a record high of 59 degrees Friday. Meteorologist Zach Green says the up and down weather is somewhat of a recent occurrence.
It's happened about 4 of the last 5 winters, but before that, it hasn't something that we've seen in a long time. So it's become more common, but it's still relatively unusual compared to the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Monday, temperatures struggled to reach 20 degrees on what was yet another frigid day. College students walking back to campus say record cold is not an achievement they're happy about.
The cold really hurts, and it makes it a lot harder to walk, but it wouldn't be New England without the cold. It's a big nuisance, and it's annoying.
Having to walk the streets, sometimes not being able to catch what we need to be able to get over to our dorm, but you feel it.
With the second snowstorm of 2018 on the horizon, Green says this might only be the beginning.
February is our snowiest month on average, so I would expect normal to above normal snowfall in February.
Now, the cold weather doesn't look like it's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. In the coming days, the area is expected to get several inches of snow. And Anna, I'm with the college kids. I do not like this cold weather at all.
No, I am not looking forward to that, but thanks for the information, Cam. The Southbridge Police Department are warning people to be on the lookout for a bobcat. Police say they've seen the bobcat in the area of Pleasant Street. They're asking people to take extra precautions outside with small children and pets. Police say to secure any possible food sources, such as bird feeders and open trash containers, and of course, to never approach any wild animal. Striving for justice and equality. It was the message of today's Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast in Worcester. It's one of the largest MLK Day gatherings in the city every year. And this one comes at a time when President Donald Trump is rejecting criticism, saying he's not racist. Our Olivia Lemon has the story.
Honoring the work and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
He lives on, and each and every one of us who dare to dream.
Hundreds gather at Quinsigamond Community College in Worcester for the 33rd annual community breakfast.
In trying times like now, I hope that we can still dream and that dream will live on.
QCC President Dr. Luis Pedraja was Monday's guest speaker. His main message was to remind people to continue striving for justice and equality. Dr. Pedraja says in recent months he has seen people come together in ways he never has before.
A lot of different groups are joining together to say no more. We will take a stand for what is right, for justice, for equity, and I believe that is what we need to do.
Last week, President Donald Trump announced the U.S. would rescind temporary protective status for hundreds of thousands of Salvadorans. Mayor Joseph Petty says there are more than 300 students from the country in Worcester.
The kids were terrified, and that's just unfair that we have people in this community that live in fear.
Both Mayor Petty and Dr. Pedraja say the breakfast helps bring the community together to remind everyone Worcester is a welcoming community, something Dr. King would have wanted.
We have a very committed group, and just want to thank the employees for being here today.
It's really about our character. It is really about what we believe in and what we are committed to help our fellow human being, to transform our world so that we could find a more just and equitable place.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
Massachusetts' top politician gathered to honor Dr. King this morning at the annual MLK Day Breakfast. Hundreds gathered at the Boston Convention and Exhibition Center to celebrate his legacy. Among those in attendance were Governor Charlie Baker, Mayor Marty Walsh, Senator Ed Markey, and Senator Elizabeth Warren.
We do not back down. We do not shut up. We fight back. And no matter what they throw at us, nevertheless, we persist.
Boston's annual breakfast also highlights local young people who are giving back to their community. The College of the Holy Cross tweeting out this picture of Martin Luther King Jr. speaking at the school in November of 1962. Dr. King addressed the Holy Cross community in the field house. The school quoting Dr. King with the saying, "Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education." And Dr. King's alma mater, Boston University, also paying tribute to him today. Monica Medea has the story from Boston.
Boston University, a fitting spot for the city's annual Day of Celebration in honor of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. MLK became a doctor here, earning a PhD in systematic theology in 1955. Boston Mayor Marty Walsh helped lead the annual event.
This is one of our most cherished traditions.
City leaders read the words of the late civil rights leader.
That every man is an heir to the legacy of dignity and worth.
Music, like always, was weaved into the program thanks to the Boston Youth Symphony Orchestra. Hundreds of people packed BU's Metcalf Hall, where the event is being held for the first time.
I think it is special to me because it's a part of my ancestors and my grandparents, and just bring awareness to what our country is about and what Martin Luther King was about.
And I think that this is a good opportunity for us to really understand the history of what has happened here and get folks together to understand the importance of forgiveness, togetherness, and an acceptance of all different colors and races.
That was Monica Medea reporting. A Worcester family is looking for a man they say has been missing for more than a week. 27-year-old Justin Ramos was last seen at a friend's house on Valley Hill Drive on January 8th. Worcester police say they were notified the following day by the man's mother. According to Justin's mom, he suffers from mental health problems. Anyone who has any information on his disappearance is asked to contact Worcester police. Less than 2 weeks after the Massachusetts U.S. Attorney General said he could not and would not rule out prosecuting state-sanctioned marijuana business, Worcester police say they won't help with federal crackdown. Meanwhile, the state Senate says the Attorney General's repeal is causing more problems for the state. Our Brittany Schaefer has the story.
Federal law enforcement will not have the assistance of Worcester police if they want to crack down on marijuana shops operating legally in central Massachusetts.
Our position is fairly simple. We enforce all state and local laws. We'll not be participating in or assisting federal agencies in enforcing the laws on their behalf.
This coming days after Massachusetts U.S. Attorney Andrew Lelling said he would not rule out prosecuting state-sanctioned marijuana businesses.
We voted on a new law recently, and those are the laws that we're going to enforce. We're a local agency, and we enforce all state and local laws. Anything that's got to do with the federal end of it will have to be something that the federal agencies will have to conduct on their own.
I understand where they're coming from, but that puts state and local government in a very difficult position.
On January 4th, U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions repealed the guidelines limiting prosecution of dispensaries. Acting Massachusetts Senate President Harriet Chandler says it's causing additional problems for states who recently passed the legalization of recreational marijuana, like Massachusetts.
I think for people who are just engaged in getting into the business of recreational marijuana, it sort of strikes fear in their hearts, I would assume. And yet we have a very clear indication from the people of the Commonwealth where they feel we should go. And That puts us on the horns of a dilemma.
The sale of recreational marijuana is scheduled to begin in July with the control of the Cannabis Commission. Chandler says this new hurdle brings even more problems to the 5 members.
Oh, I know there's a lot to do because clearly it's not a simple matter. I think this is something that they need to take up as quickly as possible. But it puts us into a very peculiar position.
Now, state police have also said they won't help federal authorities enforce federal laws against marijuana shops that are legal under state law. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.